This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You've got to ask yourself whether reality is a dream or if you are dreaming reality. We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration. You are the master of reality's creation.
Yes, you are the master of reality's creation, your own universe. I've been reading a lot about the multiverse theory and what it means, and finding some interesting interpretations of what that actually means. And one interpretation that I heard that I thought was really interesting was, they talk about the multiverse. Every time you make a choice, it splits off, and there's another reality, and then the reality that you're in, but the other choice that you didn't make becomes one of infinite possibilities that exist. And it's interesting with quantum theory, that's what they talk about, right? Superposition, where all of these possibilities exist until you focus in on it, and then it becomes defined. And that was the theory that I heard in relationship to the multiverse, was they don't actually physically exist, these other universes. So it's not every time you make a choice another universe physically appears, but it exists in infinite possibility, in this quantum state of anything can actually resolve into reality, but it needs to be focused on, or it needs to be experienced. Now, are there other aspects of me actually experiencing that choice? Or, I don't know the answer to that one, but it was just an interesting conversation to hear and to listen to and to apply to the idea of what a multiverse might be. What's up, me and my shadow? Good to see you always. Very nice. And of course, Ninja Kitty is out there in the front row today. Very good to see you guys. What's up, folks? This is the live stream of consciousness. It's a place that I've invented. I've created, actually created it with Jesse Blaze, but a place to talk to as many people as we can about as much stuff as we can, and just kind of like experience it all, right? Like if we're splintered off of source to experience life from our perspective, well, why not talk to as many other people and share perspectives and see what it's like to experience life as other people? You know what I mean? And not necessarily experience it, but hear it and share it, and I guess experience it in that way, right? You're sharing it, you're experiencing it. And hashtag live is for all the people who are participating in tickling the algorithm. Let's do one massive tickle to the algorithm and tell them something's going on that people want to see and should tune into. Before we get started, you know who's in town. My singing bowl, Sage, is here to do her thing and help us breathe, because why? Breathing is fundamental. Breathing is something that happens all day long. You don't think about it. It just happens, and it sustains your life. And I think that part of the movement of awareness is just taking a minute out of your day, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. This takes 60 seconds to just pay attention to something that is a natural part of the cycle of life and existence, and you and me, right? As human beings, this is a part of our existence. Maybe it's not for some other sort of entity or creature, but this is part of what we experience. And I think taking 60 seconds to pay attention to it, do it intentionally, set the stage, set the space, set the moment up. I think that's important. And that's what I've been doing for like the last 6 months, maybe more. I don't know if anyone can tell me how long we've been doing the breathing stuff. Type it in the comments if you know. And well, hello, Sage. It is our happy place. Ninja Kitty and I have been sharing this happy place as our happy place, defined as our happy place for like 4 years, 5 years since COVID. Amazing. All right, guys. Let's do it, and then we can get into tonight's conversation. We're going to breathe in through the nose. We're going to hold it up at the top for a second. We're going to let it out. That was just a sample. That didn't count as one. But that's how it is. And the thing that's important is when you breathe in, feel it fill you up. Feel the air come into you. Feel life coming into you. And then as you let it go, release the things that you don't need. The guy who pissed you off at the red light or cut you off today, or, a customer at your job, or your partner, said something that you didn't like. Let's just let all of that shit go. Ready? Here we go. Breathing in through the nose. Holding it just a minute, and then letting it out intentionally. Another one in through the nose. Hold it up at the top just 1 second. Let it go. Feel your shoulders release. Settle into your seat a little bit more. One more time. Just breathe with me. Let it go. Sage is still going. I know you guys probably can't hear her because the sound ducks out, but she's still going. I'm going to put her over here. And Ninja Kitty says, didn't Janice give you Sage for Christmas? I think it was Christmas. Janice definitely gave me Sage as a gift. We went into the I forget the name of Moonspell, I think, crystal shop in Sayville. Janice goes to a tarot class there with Brian Orlando from The Shark, and they have an amazing shop. We were in the shop. I picked up the bowl. I started ringing the bowl, and it got so loud in the store that somebody came in from the next room and said, my eyes are tearing, and they were just kidding around, but they felt it. They felt the sound. If you haven't experienced a singing bowl in person, the reason I fell in love with the singing bowls is because the sound sounds like it's coming from inside of you. You hear that ooh, and it's coming from inside of you, outside of you, all around you. It's just you feel the amazing power of sound with that. Anyway, there you go. We've all done our breaths, and thank you, Evelyn. Thank you for showing up and being here. You are beautiful too. I love the people who all show up here. I sometimes forget to give a shout out. I know I'm taking care of a lot of business here and not giving you a lot of the meat, but the Sacred Spiral Network, Jennifer Rose, who always shares my show on her channels, and the Sacred Spiral Network, which is an amazing network of mediums and channelers and healers and just amazing people who are here to be in service, to be a part of this community, to help create this community, to help kind of guide the community, not in a controlling way, but just like to help people find their happy place, right? Ninja Kitty says our happy place is here, reminding people to take 3 breaths, right? And think about those 3 breaths for just 60 seconds. I think, these are the kinds of things that I personally love. You can see on the bottom of the screen some of the podcasts that I like to watch as far as talking about more esoteric subjects and things that you wouldn't necessarily talk about in the workplace, metaphysical subjects, quantum theory, aliens, other dimensions, all of the cool stuff that is starting to be less fantasy and more reality, more accepted as possibilities, right? Those infinite possibilities. I love thinking about it. I love the time period that we're in right now, this moment that we're in, right? It's like you could look outside and you could decide, holy crap, the world's on fire. Everything's burning down. Oh my God, what am I going to do? or you can look around and see people starting to wake up, starting to question the things that have been shown to us, that may have been shown to us for nefarious reasons, right? To keep us a little calm and controlled and not questioning things. Well, the time has come to question everything, and more importantly than question everything is creating reality. Right up here, this is the theme of my show for the year. It's something that I realized I was able to do, not magically, like from my fingers fire comes and I can do things like that, but through intention. Action, of course it's action, but through intention, through positive energy, positive thinking, even positive thinking in the light of negative moments, right? I have had the most stressful couple of weeks that I've had in a long, long time at work, at my regular job. And honestly, the days are not fun, but I don't get up going, oh my God, it's going to be another day like yesterday. I get up and go, maybe we're going to fix the problems. Maybe we'll get through these issues that are going on, through working through them. Obviously, not just get through them, like hope they go away, but like actually working on getting through it very calmly and intentionally. I think that's important. I had a conversation with my mom the other day. I had called her. She's in Arizona, so we just speak on the phone, weekly, and I see her a couple of times a year. But I was on the phone with her. I was on my way home from work, and I was just not in the greatest mood. It had been stressful at work, and I do consider myself somebody who can, kind of control my response, right? Not be mean to people, but I'm not in a great mood. And it's not that I was mean to my mom, but my mom was being my mom. She was talking to me about what's going on with the situation. How are you handling it? Is it getting better? And I just didn't want to talk about it, right? I was coming home from work, and as I talked about it, specifically with her in that moment, it just felt more stressful. It just felt like, please, mom, I don't want to talk about it. And I tried to be nice and say, listen, talking about it makes me more stressed and I'd rather not talk about it. And she responded, and we kind of, it was a little tense at that moment, right? Because I'm telling someone, I know you care about me, but don't ask me any questions. And she's my mom. How could she not ask me questions and be concerned about my stress state? But I felt really good because I didn't respond to her like I usually do, and we didn't elevate the situation. I said, listen, mom, I just, please just, could we talk about something else or whatever it was? We just kind of talked through it and got past it. And today I called her, still stressed, still my job is, things are going on, but driving home today, I was feeling really good because I'm getting through the situations at work and victoriously, right? I'm not dying. I'm still here doing it, and I get to do it. So anyway, I'm totally babbling about my experiences over the last couple of days, but I think it's important. I think that's what life is about, right? Realizing the way that you're behaving, what you're putting out there, being more responsible for it. I think that's all important stuff that we don't learn formally. And I think that without getting into like conspiracy theory, I feel like we are kind of conditioned with the way it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, what our lives are supposed to look like from an outside perspective, in America, a capitalistic society where people are trying to sell us stuff like beauty products and all of these things. So we're supposed to look beautiful and perfect and all of these things that I think are starting to fall apart. People are realizing like what's important, right? Let's get up. Let's love each other, right? Let's help each other get through the day. This whole system of the industrial age, I personally don't love it. I don't believe in it. I feel like it's been constructed to kind of keep us in a certain way. Like certainly, yes, we need structure to have a society. But me personally, I would love to just go live on an island, have to gather my own fruit, and build my own fire at night, you know what I mean? And just be in nature, be with Gaia, the energy of Gaia. Anyway, I am totally rambling, and just see Lily says, I feel that way at times, and people, it's best to stay away and leave me and I'll be fine eventually. Yeah, I think everybody feels that way, and I usually am. Yeah, I think everybody gets that way. We're all human, right? And I think that's the coolest thing about where I'm at. For me personally, is being human, and those things are happening, right? Emotions are coming through, but also realizing what's controlling those things, right? Ego, or whatever it might be, but also respecting the idea of feelings and emotions, because I believe that that's the language of the universe, right? The language of the universe isn't words. The language of the universe is a feeling, an essence, the way that you feel. And that's, I think, what we've lost a little bit about. We've kind of been taught all of these things about how we should be thinking and doing and blah, blah, blah. But we forget to feel. We forget to think about our breath going in and out and keeping us alive. And we definitely don't need to be paying attention to it all day long, but to give it a moment, to honor it, and to kind of allow it to let you contemplate your own existence. Wow, a lot just came out. I guess I'm talking a lot because I'm hoping that my guest is going to show up. I was super excited. I don't think she is. There may be a miscommunication in time. I was actually going to be talking to somebody from the future. My guest tonight is in Australia, and it's funny because when I booked her on the show, she said, okay, I'm going to be on your show on the 29th. And I was like, no. Oh, no, she said the 1st. I'm sorry. She said, okay, I'm taking May 1st as my date. And I was like, wait a second, May 1st, that's a Friday. I don't have May 1st in my calendar. My calendar is only lets people make an appointment on Thursdays. And I started writing her a note saying, I think you might have meant the 29th, or the 30th rather. I'm sorry. I'm confused. The 30th, which is today. I think you might have meant the 30th because I'm not doing a show on the 1st. And then I saw that the email came from Australia, which means she's actually a day ahead of us in the future. So I was excited. I was like, wow, I'm actually going to have somebody from the future on my show, which is kind of cool because that's kind of the stuff that I talk about. And then I realized she's not from the future. She's just from the other side of the globe, which I guess is kind of the future, if you're looking at the international timeline. Boop. But not only that, I was also excited. Her name's Hannah Dalby. She still may show up. Who knows? I did send her an email today and yesterday. But Hannah Dalby was let me even bring this up. She was a professional Muay Thai fighter. I don't know how you pronounce that. She's here on the left. She's the redhead. And she was like a top athlete. She is a top athlete, very fit, very focused on, being her optimal self physically for what she was doing. And now, I don't know if she's still doing that, but now what she's doing is actually human integration. Hold on, let me actually put up her website if I have it here. Human integration, and she monikers herself as the CEO of the jungle. And the jungle is, I think, metaphorically the actual jungle. And I think it's also a place that she created to do integrative work. Here it is. So let's see. Let's go to just bring up her website. Hopefully she shows up. If not, I'm giving her a little bit of a plug, and maybe she'll come back when we get the time right. But here's her website. I build fully integrated human beings. Work with Hannah. I am the CEO of The Jungle, a high-performance recovery and human integration facility. Before that, I was a professional Muay Thai fighter for a decade. I ran a marketing and business coaching company for a decade. I understand discipline. I understand nervous system regulation under pressure. I understand what it means to perform. And I understand what it costs when your internal world is fragmented. So obviously she was performing optimally on the outside. If you saw her, you'd be like, oh my God, this woman, she's kicking ass. She's a fighter. She's got a business. But she was falling apart every couple of months and having to like take a break and recover and then come back and perform optimally again. What is Muay Thai? Please, Evelyn's asking what's Muay Thai. And you know what? I can't tell you exactly, but I do know that we have amazing tools to do that. So let's take a look. Muay Thai, or the art of 8 limbs, is a comprehensive Thai striking martial art utilizing punches, elbows, knees, and shins. It's known for its effectiveness, focusing on intense conditioning, clinching, and power. Training builds mental toughness and physical fitness, offering a structured, safe environment for all skill levels. So Muay Thai is a very specific fighting, like martial art kind of fight. No punching. I guess you're using like, oh yes, punching, elbows, knees, and shins. So I guess there's specific rules. I'm not really sure. Because I'm not a big sportsman. I don't follow a lot of sports. I would much rather go out and throw a ball around than watch guys throw a ball around on a field on TV. But that's just me. So anyway, that's what Muay Thai is. Muay Thai, I think, because it's spelled with a THAI. And yeah, I was looking forward to speaking with her, but apparently maybe there's something with the time. Not sure why she's not here. So I apologize for excuse me, for not having my promised guest here tonight. Maybe we will have her another time. I'll probably make this a little short. However, I am super excited, and I know I shared this a little bit the last time, but I'm going to share it again because it's coming further along, and I want you guys to see it and understand it. So let's take a look at, whoops, not that. I'm going to stop that screen, and I'm going to share my other screen, my Etheria screen. So I think I definitely have mentioned working on this app called Etheria. It is a tarot deck and oracle deck and angel deck generator. Actually, any kind of deck that you want to generate, you can generate. And here's the interface. It's actually, I think I pictured it more for a phone, so it would more look like this on the phone. But just so we can see it as a desktop app, I'm going to open it up and let's take a look at it. And I'm hoping that some of the Sacred Spiral community and some of my listeners are interested. I'm going to make this available probably on the Apple Store as soon as I can. It's taking a little bit of time. I have to invest some resources into it to get it from this state to the Apple Store. But I am more than certain that this app is amazing, because what it does is it allows you to generate a deck from your own ideas and thoughts and themes. You pick your own art style as well. And then you can create a deck, and then you can actually do drawings with the deck, all of that stuff. So let's take a look at the grimoire first, because the grimoire is my library of decks that I've created. Now, I keep kind of flushing this out because this is in development. So there's only a couple here. I think last time I had like 12 different decks in here. But I start off the app with the traditional Rider-Waite deck. You can see here on the right. I can equip that deck for readings if I want to do a reading with that deck, or I can inspect that deck. Now I'm looking at all of the cards in the Rider-Waite deck. It's telling me the title of the card. I got a couple of keywords here that talk about the meaning of the card, but I can further look at this card and I can get a deeper meaning, a new beginning, freedom and innocence, the start of a journey into the unknown. That's the standard upright meaning, but you know, in tarot or in any card drawing that you're doing, card reading, you can pull the card and it might be upside down, and that's called the shadow meaning usually. And the shadow meaning is recklessness, risk-taking, or holding back out of fear. That is what this card means, and I can flip it over and I can see that meaning on the back. This is a specific type of card where you have the face of the card, the actual image of the card, and then you have the meaning on the back. As I was building this app, I kind of realized that there are other kinds of cards which have a back to them, so you can't see the faces or the meaning. But then when you turn it over, it's got the image and the meaning on it, on the face of the card. So I did, let's just close this. I did some decks like that. It doesn't look like I rendered these like that, but let's take a look at my Muppet deck. And this is what I think is really cool. Oh yeah, so I did render this with that style. So this is what I think is really cool about this app. This is a tarot deck, so it's taking the tarot lore, right? The Fool, the Magician, all of the lore that goes with the tarot, and applying it to the Muppets, because the Muppets was what I wanted. So if I take a look at the first card here, I can see that I've got a scroll here digitally, so I might need to adjust that, and I can. I'm going to show you that. But here it takes the meaning. The journey begins with a banjo and a belief in the rainbow connection. This archetype represents the soul's first leap from the swamp into the unknown, driven by pure optimism and the music of the heart. It is the belief that being green is not a limitation, but a unique frequency that can harmonize with the world. I think this is amazing, that the deck is created and the lore is applied to it. It's just really phenomenal. Now here's something that's really cool, and I can see the back of the card, which is like this Muppet kind of I don't know, totem, like a Muppet totem that it generated as the back of the card. So this is pretty cool. And I can now, again, if I'm designing this and I want to print it, I can change the design. I can edit the design. So let's take a look at that function. This is the style editor. And in the style editor, I can first of all choose the text color and the stroke color here. So let's go with a little bit more of a blue or a green that kind of matches the card a little bit more. And then I'm going to change the stroke color to, again, maybe more of a blue or a green that matches the card. And you'll also see here, oops, I just clicked change the vertical position. I can move the vertical position. So if I want this to be up at the top, I can put this up at the top. I can also see that my type needs to be adjusted. So here I can adjust the title size and the body size of the text till it all fits nicely and looks beautiful. So here's one specific style I can use in my card. And I've also got other controls. I personally like the message on the bottom, right? So let's put the message all the way down at the bottom, all the way down. And then I'm going to turn that stroke off altogether. I don't like the stroke for this particular card. And then maybe I'm going to change the max height just a little shorter. No, I don't want it to have to scroll. I want to give it some space. So that's good. And then the width of this slate here. So I can make it skinnier, but I can also make it the entire width of the card. And then I can change that corner radius from a curve to straight. And so now I've almost got like a little message on the bottom of the card. I don't like that it covers up the image. So I did add a slider here where you can up the background opacity, lower the background opacity so you can see the image through. Here in the digital version, it shows you that it's also blurred, but it doesn't blur it really. So let's save that, and you'll see that it just changed the whole style of the whole deck. You can also turn the message on and off if you want to see the image here. You can turn that on and off with the eyeball. You can also do that with the eyeball here to see what that message is. But now I'm liking the design of the card a little bit more. I'm going to turn it around and look at it. Yeah, I like this. Okay, now I want to print this. I want to export this, and I want to get it printed, and I want to make this deck, and I want to bring it to a show, and I want to do readings with this deck. Well, I can manifest this deck, and I can either manifest this deck as a printable PDF. You should see that pop up. Let me see. Does that pop up? No, you guys are not seeing the pop-up window. Hold on. Let me cancel this and show you the window better. Share screen, Chrome tab, window. Yeah, I guess if it's a window, it's not going to show. So let's just show you the entire screen. So now it's going to look weird because you're going to see me and you're going to see the deck. But let me do this. I'll cover up the show. And I actually don't know if I've lost a bunch of you guys or you're still listening, but I'm having a good time showing you guys this. So now I'm going to manifest the deck. You can see here I can print it PDF, or I can actually download it to send to a printer if I want to actually get a deck printed. And when I release the deck, I'm going to probably have links to printers that can actually print the deck. I'm probably actually going to try to license this to those printers so they could put it on their website and people could generate websites, card decks right on their site. Anyway, so I'm going to print the PDF. You'll see here, hopefully. Let's see, is that coming up? Yes, it is. Okay. So here's my PDF window. It gives me a nice title page. It shows me the back of the card, gives me some information about what the deck is all about. And then it shows me the cards. I can print this out now and cut these out and use them myself. And then what it also does is after the cards is it gives me a guidebook that I can print. So here's a guidebook where it'll show you each card. It'll give you the upright meaning and the upside down meaning of the card. It'll give you a couple of keywords of each card. The Great Gonzo is the musician, the magician. I love that. But basically, this is Etheria, a app, a program where you can generate your own decks of cards and print them. And I mean, again, my vision is you're a tarot deck reader, you're an energy worker, you're a card reader. You go to a festival or a fair and you set up your little table and you're doing readings, and people would not expect you to say, hey, what's your favorite movie? Or what are you into? What do you like? Do you like princesses? You like mermaids? Whatever you like, you can generate a deck and give that person a stylized reading. So I think this is really great. You can see I also generated a Mad Max deck here. Let's take a look at the Mad Max deck. So the Gearhead Magus, the master of scrap who transmute junk into functional power, channeling the divine spark of the spark plug to create order from chaos through sheer will and a rusted wrench. You know, again, just really cool artwork. I picked artwork. Let's actually generate a deck real quick before I end this so that you guys can see how cool this is. I freaking love this. So let's go into the Forge. The Forge is where you generate your decks. I call type 1 card a mirror card. So the mirror card is the card itself. This is an elephant card, and then the meaning on the back. That's what I call a mirror card. I needed to come up with a name for it. I call it a mirror card. So I can generate a deck like that, or I could generate a type 2, which I call a tablet, which has the meaning on the image and then a single back for the whole entire deck. So a single back with the cards, meanings and images on the front. That's a type 2 deck. I like that one, so I'm going to pick that one, and then I'm going to confirm that. Now here's where I start to craft my deck. What kind of deck do I want? Do I want a tarot deck? Do I want an oracle deck, an angel deck, or a custom deck? If I hit custom, Oh, I think I took it off. I used to have you like create the kind of lore that it was, right? Like it's not an angel deck, it's not an oracle deck, it's a cosmic deck or whatever you want, but I took that off. So it's just called a custom deck right now. But then I also pick how many cards I want, and I'm going to do custom, and let's do 6 cards just for time's sake, because we don't want to wait here for it to generate 72 cards. And let's do it interactively. Who's still in the audience? Who wants to come up with a deck for me? See, I have to look at the chat now. Who wants to come up with a deck, like a style of a deck or a theme for a deck? Actually, let's do both. Let's take a style, I mean a theme from the audience, like the name of the deck and the essence, what the idea is, and then let's take a suggestion for the art style that you want to do. And just so you guys know, I have done art. I did a cool alphabet deck in the style of kids crayon drawings. Let's take a look at that real quick while we're waiting for you guys to give me some answers. And I'm sharing my screen here. You're seeing all my secrets. Cool decks. I believe that the cool decks was the alphabet deck. Do I have the alphabet deck here? Where is the alphabet deck? Numerology? No. It's definitely an alphabet deck. Oh, maybe it's here. Spaghetti, Star Wars, Star Trek. So many cool things. This has been so much fun. The great Googly Moogly. There is Alphabet Architects images right here. So I believe this is the, no, that's the back of the, so this is the front of the first card on the alphabet deck. And and there you go. I said I wanted a deck with kids crayon drawing as the style, and that's what it gave me as the first card. The second card, oh, that's a different, the other style of the card. Let's do it here. That's the next card. Here's the next card. So you could see it actually really generated some cool cards with this crayon style. But here's what's kind of cool. I love this again. The vowel unspoken. That's the first card. So this is this card here. The vowel unspoken. That's this card. Am I sharing? Is this sharing right? Yeah, you guys can see this. It's kind of weird, but the way I'm sharing it, but that's fine. You guys can all cope with that, I think. So this is the vowel unspoken, and the meaning of the vowel unspoken. Upright, it represents the primal breath and the that begins all utterances. This card signifies the raw potential of sound before it is constrained by consonants. It is the breath of the cosmos entering the lungs of a new idea, the moment of pure inspiration that precedes language itself. I'm sorry, but how fucking cool is that, right? I've generated a deck here just with an idea, with an intention that, I don't know, it's just amazing. I love it. So Inception, I don't know if Courtney Webb is out there. Inception, Courtney, how you doing, Courtney? Good to see you. Inception, is that what you want me to do as far as the theme? Because I could definitely do that. Let's do that. The sacred name is Inception. And then I'm imagining Inception, the movie, will be the essence, right? Inception. And then what kind of style do we want? So I have a couple of canned styles here, but then I also have custom, which is you basically decide the style with a prompt. So let's do that. Let's do custom, and let's do cinematic movie poster from the late 80s. I just came up with that. Nobody was suggesting anything. So there you go. Go to the next step. Now it's asking me to generate a back, right? So because I picked the style with the back, do I want to use a symmetrical pattern? That was just something that kind of came up because a lot of times card decks do have these patterns on the back. I don't want to do that. I want to do one without. And what should we do? Let's see. I'm going to do the concept of inception. Now that I'm a horrible typer. The concept of inception. And let's do this, generate this. And it's generating a back right now. Weaving, AI thinking. And there we go. Wow, look at that. That's almost like an MC Escher-esque floating city. That looks very cool. So that's going to be the back of my card. And I really like it. Look at that. Very, very cool. And let's, I usually leave this as default just to generate it because I know I can change it later, but just so you guys can see, Great Vibes is more of like a script text. And here's the body size of the card, typography, and let's just go with like a white color. So I'm gonna go with a white, and I'm gonna go with, let's go with just like a little light yellow. The background of the slate, let's just do like a deep orange color. There we go. Nice. Vertical position, I'm good with that. Stroke width, I'm good with that. Background opacity, let's transparent it out just a little bit. Max height, we can lower it just a bit. And I'm going to ignite the forge, unleash the forge. Now it's basically doing its AI thing. It's kind of coming up with the images and the meanings for the images. And let's let it do its thing here. And I don't see my screen, so I don't know what you guys are looking at. I see the Etheria app generating the cards right now. 33%, 1/3. And while we're waiting, I'm going to just ask you guys, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Most of the time, people don't really talk about it. Right? It's just like, hey, how's it going? Good. You know, you guys know my story. Be intentional. Say, I'm doing great. But I heard a story today about how's it going? I told that story and it just about the energy and it was cool. Some people really got it. Anyway, I'm looking at the thing right now. So where did the image actually come from? Is there a copyright? I truly do not understand AI. That's a great question, Evelyn. And a lot of people don't understand that. And there's a lot of anger over AI, thinking that AI is looking at images and stealing those images, which is not what it's doing. AI is recognizing patterns, right? So it looks at images and it recognizes patterns of faces, of animals, of whatever it might be. And then it generates those patterns from noise, and it like refines the pattern until it becomes more closer to the pattern that it's trying to create. It is not copying and pasting anything. It's actually generating the image based on patterns. So I hope that helps a little bit, but I mean, the same thing with language, right? And so many people think like, oh, there's consciousness and understanding, and it does seem like that, but the AI is looking for language patterns and what that might mean. Now, it's understanding patterns on levels we can't even comprehend, because those patterns do start to resemble sentience. You think that you're asking ChatGPT something, and just by what you ask and the way it answers, it's like it understood the context, but I don't know if it really understands the context or if the context is just there as information and already exists. So it's just a tool to help reveal that. I think that's a good way to describe it. Your patterns as well. I don't know what you mean by that, Evelyn, but all sorts of patterns, tons of patterns. They're having AI look at images from the James Webb Telescope to analyze the patterns of the universe. Everything is a pattern, right? You hear about math being the language of the universe, right? The universe is based on math. Well, that's patterns. Those are all based on patterns. Interference patterns, which is just energy crossing over other energy. Like it's pretty deep. I mean, I guess I could do some topics about it and get more into it. But anyway, my patterns as well, since I'm interfacing with it for my book and it knows I love trippy art. I'm not sure that that's necessarily connected. That's a great question, Evelyn, but I'm not using ChatGPT here. This is Google AI Studio that I've built this in. It's a little bit different. It's like ChatGPT in that you use language to talk to it and tell it what you want, but it's not the same AI as ChatGPT. So it doesn't remember those conversations. It doesn't really have access to it. I will say that I think that AI, again, it excels at recognizing patterns. So nuances in my personality and the way I talk and the things that I like and the things that I show to AI, it recognizes those things for sure and starts to adapt to it. I mean, I still say AI is a tool, but it's not like any other tool we've ever seen before. So it almost can't be defined by the same words, but it is. It's for me. It's a tool that helps me think about how I think. Right? I put something in there and it spits it out back, and I'm like, oh, how did it come up with that? Oh, I never thought of that angle. And I think that it helps me think. It doesn't. I don't use it as a replacement. Hey, Chat GPT, I need to know what to say to my friend who asked me, if I could watch his dog. You know what I mean, or whatever it is. So you're not a dinosaur. It's AI. I've never seen anything happen as fast as AI happen, and that's just even ChatGPT, which is a couple of years old at this point. But since ChatGPT came onto the scene, AI has advanced so rapidly that, I mean, the introduction to the show is 90% AI, with just photos that I did and words that I wrote into a song and it made it into the music. Like it's such a great tool for creatives who embrace it, and then it's the enemy for creatives who don't. So it's an interesting thing. Anyway, let's get back to Etheria and see where we're at. Oh, and it generated my deck, my Inception deck, 6 cards, a Masterwork custom manifestations, 6 archetypes. Let's take a look at those. And I don't think it did the best job with the art style. I told it to do like a movie poster from the 80s. I don't love this. I think it does a better job when I say something like kids crayons. I've actually put macaroni art, like, you make macaroni art, and it's come up with some interesting cards. I guess I should probably share those, but here we go. We got the extractor again with that cool back, and let's just go through the cards here. The architect, and I would definitely say this is looks like Inception, the movie. Some of the visuals from Inception, the movie. The shade. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I think this imagery is pretty cool. Again, I would like it to be more responsive to my descriptions of artwork. Let's just take a look in here. Let's see if there are any other cool decks that I can share with you guys. I did a Beatles deck in Magical Mystery Tour. I guess I did. Wolf by Moonlight is Ninja Kitty's. What Ninja Kitty's saying? Do you watch Matt Wolf? He does AI, and he's always like, that's the first thing he always generates is a wolf howling at the moon. That's like his standard image that he generates. So Evelyn is saying yes. I don't know if that's yes to watching Matt Wolf, or yes to The Fool on the Hill, which is the Beatles card here. The Fool on the Hill. How cool is that? It made the Fool into the Fool on the Hill. And then the magician is the walrus. Cuckoo Kajoop. Look at that. Amazing. I mean, how cool would it be to get a tarot reading with this deck? You know, I'm not a reader, but like I feel like this tool is really going to arm readers with something special. This is Lady Madonna, the Lady Madonna in the Beatles deck. This is the Diamond Sky. And this is the Sergeant, obviously, Sergeant Pepper. And Ninja Kitty saying, no, I say Wolf by Moonlight. Oh, Ninja Kitty said Wolf by Moonlight. She loves wolves. Yes, I see. Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking with me for this. My guest never showed up, but you guys did. My friends, my family, my lovely audience. Let's take a look at some of these other decks that I did just to kind of see what we got. Here's a Matrix deck that I did. The Prime Designer. Look at that. Pretty cool. The Prophetess of the Path. The Agent of Entropy, although it says Entorpty. That's where you got to be careful with AI. But I mean, look at how amazing these freaking cards are. This is just so good. The Herald of the Red Pill. The Synaptic Bridge. This is called the Glitch of Betrayal. This is called the Master of Causality. Just amazing stuff here. I just love playing with this. I have a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy deck here. That's the back of the deck. Anybody knows the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then here's the front of the deck. The bewildered Arthur is the fool. The journey begins with a dressing gown and a thumb out. This card represents the sudden thrusting of an ordinary soul into an extraordinary cosmos. It signifies the leap of faith taken when your home is destroyed to make way for a hyperspace bypass. I love that. I don't know about you guys. I'm having so much fun with this app, and I would love to see what other people create. Excuse me. The Ford Prefect. Okay, so here the AI was not generating. It just picked the stock image. The High Fenchurch. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but some of these are the characters. The Empress Tricia from the book. Zaphod Beeblebrox, of course. The President of the Universe. Amazing stuff. Let's take a look at what else we've got here. The Brady Bunch. I did a deck of the Brady Bunch. The Fool. I believe the Fool was. I believe that's actually Cousin Oliver. That they did as the Fool. Let's see. The Magician is Alice. Look at that. This is the Brady Bunch deck. But let me just see if I've got the guidebook. Let's see. The group Brady. Oh, this is like I've been going through different iterations. This guidebook I loved, but I just didn't love the black background. But the Fool, the wide-eyed stepchild, represents the grand adventure into a blended life. Oh, so this is not Cousin Oliver. There was one with Cousin Oliver in one of the cards. I forget where that card was, but anyway, there you have the Brady Bunch deck. Star Wars and Star Trek are always cool. Spaghetti. I did one with spaghetti. Let's see what this is. The unboiled noodle. This was the one I did macaroni art. The unboiled noodle is actually the beginning of the journey. How crazy is that? And then the back design of the spaghetti deck, which is pretty kind of cool. Oh boy, you guys are getting a treat, I guess. You're getting to see the depths of my hard drive here. I did a Godfather deck, the Consigliere. It looks like Marlon Brando a bit. This is the Dawn. The Godmother. The Blood Oath. The Sit Down. So Ninja Kitty, I see you there saying Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't want to render another one, only because it just takes time, but maybe next week we can do that. I did a Terminator card. That was the back of the deck. Let's see what else we did. So many cool things. Bible stories. I did a Bible stories deck, and you can see there's biblical kind of style to that. So the Bible deck is pretty cool. Anyway, this will be available soon, guys. I am working on getting this out into the App Store. I may do a Kickstarter, only because I think it's going to probably cost me about $1,000 to get it into the App Store altogether. But I think it's worth it. I think that this is going to be something amazing. Yeah. So Ancient Aliens, that's my Ancient Aliens deck. And there you go. There, my friends. Let's look at a couple of more just because they're cool. MC Escher deck. That's called the Lithographer of Infinity. No, it's not really. Maybe that's better in the center of the screen. This is the Silent Tessellator. And here, Evelyn, this is actually a good answer to your question. So I told that MC Escher was the style, and it didn't copy and paste MC Escher artwork, but it certainly took a bit of the essence and tried to emulate a little bit of MC Escher's style. So that's my MC Escher deck. I believe I'll give you one more because I can't believe I've been talking for an hour. That's crazy. Great Profits Through Time. Hawaii. Hell's Angels. Herbie the Love Bug. Mad Magazine. That's the one I wanted to show you guys. So Mad Magazine deck based on the Mad Magazine kind of comic book style. I think this is great. This really reminds me of Mad Magazine. The Keeper of the Fold-In. Oh my God, who remembers that? Amazing. Amazing. And then what was the other one I was going to show you guys? Oh, Herbie the Love Bug. I don't know if you guys remember Herbie the Love Bug, but here's some Herbie the Love Bug tarot cards. The number 53, the Grand Mechanic, the Spirit in the Stale. And even though you might think it copied and pasted those images, it really didn't. It just generated it from images that it saw. You know, and that's why it's probably like not perfect. Like, look at this stripe is not perfect. You know, it's just doing its best, but pretty cool stuff. The Matriarch of the Garage. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Awesome. 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 Well, I have babbled for an hour. And some of you guys are still here hanging with me. I appreciate you guys so much. You don't even know how much I appreciate you. I needed this moment. Even though my guest didn't show up, I needed to show up. And thank God you guys did, because otherwise I would just be here babbling to myself. And Evelyn says that car lives here in Solvang. Who believes in coincidences in my audience? Does anybody in my audience believe in coincidences? There's definitely a reason that I'm showing the Herbie the Love Bug deck, and that car is in Evelyn's town. I think I got to start traveling. Evelyn, where is Solvang so I can come visit you? I would like to come visit you. I think I definitely want to visit Vivian in Hawaii, because Hawaii, as you guys may or may not know, is my favorite place on earth. No coincidences. No coincidences. No time. Time doesn't exist. Coincidences don't exist. Like, we've just been taught these concepts and we kind of believe them. And now we've got to unfigure them out and come into our own powers of not being constrained by time, not being constrained by anything. Imagination is where reality exists. This whole app is a testament to that. Anyway, I really, really appreciate you guys. I know I said that already, but I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to get ready to go to bed. I can hear my voice starting to crack. I can feel my stomach a little hungry. I didn't really get to eat much today. But I want to say, honestly, authentically, I love you guys. I love that you show up here no matter what's happening. And if it doesn't go right, you still hang out and we get to hang out and I get to feel like I've just had an interaction with a bunch of my friends. So thank you guys for being here always. Hopefully Hannah Dalby will come back. Let me take a quick look at my calendar because I do have a bunch of guests coming up. Because my website, the livestream of consciousness.com, is has a form on it and people have been filling it out. Do you have an interesting story or know someone who should be a guest on the live stream of consciousness? Reach out to me at mrz1@aol.com. I love talking to you people. I love talking to my guests. I love holding these conversations for the people who are listening. So again, thank you guys for showing up. Next week, I have Sandy Granada. Sandy Granada is a healer here on Long Island who I met years ago. Haven't spoken to her in many, many years. Came across her on social media and I was like, hey, you would be a great guest on my show. Want to come on my show? She said yes. She sent me her bio. So she's going to be here next week. So come check out Sandy Granada. And then later in the month, I have a Sonia Ribias. Sonia, what's her name? Sonia Ribas. SoniaRibas.com. SoniaRibas.com. I have so many cool people coming up. Last week, we had the Mantids. We had a woman channeling the Mantids. Kelly Chakowski was channeling a Mantid being live on my show. So many people resonated with it. It was really amazing. So anyway, Evelyn, Central California, the Danish city for the USA, a tourist trap, not much to it. And Evelyn grew up in Carpinteria, a lovely beach town. A beach town sounds beautiful. I love beach towns. So that's an hour away from Herbie the Love Bug. Awesome. Evelyn, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for participating. Thank you, Ninja Kitty, for participating. Thank you, Tim, for participating. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you to Jennifer Rose for always putting my show on her links. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. And I guess I could just keep saying that over and over, but I'm just going to play the outro and say peace.